In the annals of human history, few figures have towered, both literally and figuratively, like Robert Wadlow. A man of extraordinary proportions, he became known as the tallest man who ever lived, a title that remains unmatched to this day. But beyond the staggering measurements and the public fascination, his story is one of gentleness, resilience, and an unwavering spirit in the face of an extraordinary condition. Robert Wadlow, the tallest man who ever lived. Born Robert Pershing Wadlow on February 22, 1918 in Alton, Illinois, he entered the world as an average-sized infant, weighing a healthy 8 pounds, 6 ounces. But within months, it became clear that Robert was not like other children. He grew at an alarming rate, reaching over 3 feet tall by his first birthday. By the time he was 5 years old, he stood at an astonishing 5 feet, 4 inches, already taller than most adults. The cause of Robert's rapid growth was an overactive pituitary gland, which led to an excessive production of human growth hormone, HGH. In an era when medical science had no treatments for such conditions, his body continued to grow unchecked. By the time he was 8 years old, he wore clothes made for full-grown men. At 13, he became the world's tallest Boy Scout, standing at 7 feet, 4 inches, a height that few people in history had ever reached, let alone a teenager. But with great size came great challenges. Every step, every movement, required more effort than it did for the average person. His bones and joints strained under his enormous frame, and his feet, unable to support his increasing weight, became one of his greatest weaknesses. To walk, he required custom-made shoes, each one measuring over 18 inches long. Despite this, Robert refused to let his condition limit him. He had an unshakable determination to live life as normally as possible. By 18 years old, Robert had reached an astonishing 8 feet 4 inches and continued to grow. His presence was impossible to ignore. People stared in awe as he walked down the street, struggling to comprehend the sight of a man who dwarfed even the tallest professional athletes. Though many would have become reclusive, Robert embraced his fame with humility and grace. After finishing high school, Robert attended Shirtliff College in Alton, with dreams of becoming a lawyer. But the demands of his body required expensive custom-made clothing, furniture, and medical care, placing a financial strain on his family. In 1936, he accepted an offer to tour with the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, not as a sideshow attraction, but as a celebrity guest. He made public appearances, shaking hands with thousands of people, always presenting himself with kindness and dignity. It was during these tours that Robert's gentle personality won the hearts of many. He was often described as soft-spoken, polite, and kind, a man who carried himself with dignity despite the physical burdens he endured. Unlike the giants of mythology or folklore, Robert was not a fearsome figure. He was a gentle giant in every sense of the word. But as he continued to grow, so did the toll on his health. By 1938, he had reached an unimaginable 8 feet, 8 inches. Walking had become increasingly painful, and he relied on leg braces to move. Yet despite the pain, he pressed on, refusing to let his condition define him. In 1940, at the age of 22, Robert had grown to a record-breaking 8 feet, 11 inches, the tallest man ever recorded in history. But his body was struggling under its own immense size. That same year, while making a public appearance, a poorly fitted leg brace caused a blister on his foot. With his compromised circulation and immune system, the wound quickly became infected, leading to a severe bacterial infection. Doctors attempted to save him with blood transfusions and emergency surgery, but in an era before modern antibiotics, the infection proved too much. On July 15, 1940, Robert Wadlow passed away in his sleep. He was just 22 years old. His funeral was attended by thousands, with mourners lining the streets of Alton to pay their respects. His coffin measured over 10 feet long and required 12 pallbearers to carry it. The town of Alton, which had watched him grow from a child to a giant, mourned the loss of their beloved son. Though his life was brief, Robert Wadlow left behind a legacy that endures to this day. His record as the tallest man in history remains unchallenged, and his story continues to fascinate and inspire. A statue in his hometown stands as a tribute to the man who never let his extraordinary size overshadow his extraordinary character. Robert Wadlow was more than just a record breaker. He was a man who faced unimaginable challenges with grace, kindness, and quiet strength. And though his towering frame made him a spectacle, it was his heart and spirit that made him truly unforgettable. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.